Driving home one misty evening, the dense fog wrapped around the streets like a ghostly embrace. I took my usual route, winding through the familiar neighborhood, when something out of place caught my eye. On the corner of Elmwood Drive, where only an open patch of grass had ever existed before, stood a crumbling old house. I frowned, squinting through the mist as I slowed down to get a better look. The house was like a relic from another time, its windows boarded up, paint peeling off in thick strips, and ivy crawling up its dilapidated walls. How had I never seen it before? As I drove past, a shiver ran down my spine. Despite its decrepit appearance, there was an eerie allure to the place, a mysterious pull that made me want to uncover its secrets. I made a mental note to return in the light of day to explore further. The next morning, over a cup of coffee, I mentioned the strange house to my neighbor, Mrs. Hastings, a sweet old lady who had lived on the street for decades. Her brow furrowed in confusion, and she shook her head. "There's never been a house there, dear," she said, her voice laced with concern. "Are you feeling all right?" I nodded, a chill running down my spine. Had I imagined the house in the foggy night, or was there something more sinister at play? Determined to unravel the mystery, I set out to the corner of Elmwood Drive once again. The morning sun cast a golden glow over the neighborhood, dispelling the mist of the night before. But as I approached the corner, my heart sank. The lot was empty, just as Mrs. Hastings had said. No trace of the old house remained, as if it had vanished into thin air. Doubt crept into my mind. Had I dreamt it all? Was the house a figment of my imagination, conjured by the swirl of mist and shadows on that fateful night? Or was there something more sinister at play, something beyond the realm of reason? Determined to find answers, I made a plan to investigate further. That night, under the cloak of darkness, I returned to the corner of Elmwood Drive. The air was heavy with a sense of foreboding, the street lamps casting long, eerie shadows on the empty lot. As I stood there, a whisper of a voice carried on the wind caught my attention. I turned, my heart pounding in my chest. In the dim light, I saw a figure standing at the edge of the lot, just beyond where the old house had stood. "Who's there?" I called out, my voice trembling. The figure remained silent, but the sense of presence lingered, like a ghostly specter haunting the night. With a deep breath, I stepped forward, determined to confront whatever hidden truth lay before me. As I drew closer, the figure materialized into a woman, her features obscured by the shadows. She held out a hand, beckoning me closer. Against my better judgment, I followed. "I've been waiting for you," she said in a voice like a whisper of the wind. "There are secrets here, buried deep within the earth." I felt a chill run down my spine, but a strange curiosity spurred me on. The woman led me to a spot in the center of the lot, where the ground felt unsteady beneath my feet. With a sinking feeling, I realized it was a cover for a hidden trapdoor. Without a word, the woman lifted the cover, revealing a set of stairs leading down into the darkness. A cold draft wafted up from the depths, carrying with it the scent of damp earth and decay. "Go," she urged, her voice insistent. "Find the truth that lies beneath." With a sense of trepidation, I descended into the depths of the earth, the darkness enveloping me like a cloak. The stairs seemed to stretch on endlessly, leading me down into a hidden world I never knew existed. Finally, I reached the bottom, where a dim light flickered like a guiding star. I found myself in a vast underground chamber, its walls lined with shelves filled with ancient tomes and curious artifacts. As I explored further, I uncovered the history of the mysterious house that had once stood on the corner of Elmwood Drive. It belonged to a reclusive family, rumored to dabble in dark arts and forbidden rituals. The house had been abandoned for years, its secrets buried within the earth, waiting to be unearthed by an unsuspecting soul. But as I delved deeper into the mysteries of the underground chamber, I realized that I was not alone. Shadows danced along the walls, whispers echoed in the darkness, and a sense of malevolence hung heavy in the air. I knew then that I had stumbled upon something far more sinister than I could have ever imagined. The truth of the old house on Elmwood Drive was a dark and twisted tale, one that threatened to consume me whole if I did not tread carefully. With trembling hands, I gathered what information I could, determined to expose the secrets that lay hidden beneath the surface. But as I made my way back to the surface, a feeling of dread settled in the pit of my stomach. The woman who had led me to the underground chamber was nowhere to be found, and a sense of unease lingered in the air. I knew then that the mysteries of Elmwood Drive ran deeper than I could have ever imagined, and that the truth I sought might come at a price too high to pay. As I emerged from the darkness into the light of day, the empty lot on the corner of Elmwood Drive seemed to mock me, a silent reminder of the secrets that lay buried beneath its surface. And as I walked away, the shadows of the past followed me, whispering in the wind, a chilling reminder of the darkness that lurked just beyond the veil of reality. The mystery of the old house on Elmwood Drive had been unraveled, but the true horror of its secrets would haunt me forevermore. A grim reminder of the thin line between curiosity and madness in a world where reality and illusion blur into one.